I am proud that we've been able to put them back in their hole quite early on. There was a bit of a free-for-all scenario going on. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that environment. But wind the clock back, and I had already signed for Honda. But no one knew that. So PBM didn't know that, because in truth, I wanted to see what they would actually do. Fuck, I'm just going to go on full send mode from lap 1 to lap 30 every race as far as I can, really, and see what happens. Because for me, the biggest fear in life is failing.
Hello and welcome to this week's show, proudly sponsored by Zero Fit, the king of base layers. Alongside me on the sofa this week is Ben Currie. The British Supersport champion joins us one final time before he steps aside from the show. The commitment to chasing that British Supersport dream, a new job and buying a new home with his beautiful wife Kirsty has left Ben with little time to commit to the show. We're grateful for his support and his friendship, and we wish him all the very best for 2024 in retaining that Supersport crown, and the friendship will definitely continue. Thanks for your support and your friendship, mate. It's hugely appreciated. Our guest this week is the 2023 Bennetts British Superbike champion. We talk all things Honda racing, 2024 so far, and what the season will hold and the future. That's Tommy Bridewell. This is Off Track, the motorcycle racing podcast.
Mate, I can cut it out. You tell me.
Can't be on that secret hard drive. These questions.
It's always the bits where you don't press record that people tell you the best stuff. That's like, I tell you, that's the way to enter a podcast, isn't it? We could just go straight into that.
If you want. Tommy's just had 2 minutes off. Gathering his thoughts. He's like, right, who do I ride for again? What do I have to say? Right, okay, we're all good.
We'll do this.
I got my Honda top off. As soon as I take this Honda top off, all the swearing comes out. I slag everyone off. It goes all the fuck, to be honest.
Tommy Bridewell, welcome back to Off Track, mate. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a while. When was the last time?
Brands last year.
Was it? Oh, okay, actually not as long as I thought. Yeah, no, been good. Been a lot going on, hasn't it, really? A lot has been going on. I think, I don't know, normally, like I say, last time I did a pod with you two, it's like, oh, what's changed? Same team or something where, yeah.
Well, you weren't British champion at the time.
Exactly, yeah.
Champion, but you weren't a factory rider.
Yeah, and cause a load of stir within the paddock. So, well, no, not in that, but...
Did you really?
No, me and Glenn just made a few headlines.
To be honest, I've only heard one side of the story anyway.
Before we get started, welcome back, Ben.
Thank you, yeah, cheers.
Nice to see you, mate.
Well, literally the last podcast I've done was the Bridewell one, so yeah, crazy. Been trying to get to a few, haven't we?
You've been slacking.
I'm busy, you know, I do stuff, and
Rockstar now.
That's the trouble, isn't it?
But how cool is it?
British champion, and it's gone to his head.
With the British Supersport champion. The Bennetts British Superbike champion.
No, I don't want you to start getting overwhelmed, all right?
I'm getting a little bit, you know, and one of the fastest growing podcasts in the UK sitting here.
Yeah.
I think we have we have the right to start dick swinging.
Well, I mean, we could start our
virtual dick swinging.
No, it's that good of a podcast. I watch it.
Thanks, mate.
Like, you know what I mean?
A little bit of support, don't go.
Yeah.
It works out all right. Tommy, how's the season so far, mate? Talk to us about this year so far.
Straight into 24.
Let's go straight into, we'll go back over the other stuff
all
later.
Right. 24, 24 has been, it's been, honestly, probably a lot better than I anticipated. It's like everyone says to me, fucking hell, why did you leave Ducati to join Honda? All the usual negative keyboard warriors that are obviously, they know a lot more than I do. But I don't, to be fair, read any comments. I don't get involved with any of it. My wife sort of moans at people sometimes, have you seen this? And I'm like, Stace, honestly, I'm not interested. But I am proud that we've been able to put them back in their hole quite early on, because everyone wanted, I say everyone, it's completely wrong actually for me saying that. A lot of people wanted to see the project fail. That's the world we live in, no matter what, whatever discipline you do. People like to see other people struggle. Look, we were all Pecco Bagnaia fans when he wasn't winning, and then when he wins every weekend, you're like, oh bloody hell, come on.
Neil's seen the stickers on the back of my car.
No, why have you
Don't look at me. I'm not a Bagnaia fan.
Are you not a Bagnaia fan?
No, I am a big Pecco fan.
Oh, are you? Oh, no, so am I. I'm just getting like...
You're a day oneer, aren't you? I've always been banging the drum of Marquez, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm Marquez fan. I'm everyone's fan, really. But yeah, so everyone I found, in truth, when I was with Motor Rapido, everyone wanted that dark horse to succeed. Everyone wants a dark horse to win, because when you become not that dark horse and that outsider, people then start cheering on someone else.
It's always the underdog, isn't it?
Exactly, and I get it because I'm probably the same. But now I'm with Honda. There were so many question marks for. I always wind Whittam up because Whittam's like, bloody hell, he actually come up to me after one of the tests and he said, look, I've got to apologise already. He said, I didn't think you was going to be as good on the Honda as you have been. And I was like, so basically you were slagging me off. No, I wasn't. And I was only winding him up because me and we get on really well. So it's been a good transition, a really good fluid transition, to be honest. There was some little hiccups along at the start of the year where it's no secret, we've had a few little mechanical issues, which has been a little bit of an annoyance. But I think what has been cool for me is Honda have been really blown away with the way I handle the situations. Navarra is a good opportunity, or a good point to say, like, I felt like we had the pace, podium at least, for that second race, and then the quick shifter snapped. Silly things like that shouldn't happen. It certainly shouldn't happen at a factory team. And I come in and I told the team, look, this shouldn't happen. It's happened. Make sure it doesn't happen again. And I'll say it in that exact same way. I won't come in shouting, screaming, chucking my helmet about, because it benefits nobody. And I think they've realised that I'm a very different person than perhaps what they thought. So yeah, it's been good.
How'd you know? That's good. We haven't done a podcast for a while, but you can still read my mind. I was going to say, the first thing you said was, the story about why you made the transition. Why did you make the transition?
It's weird, isn't it? Because you must be like an elephant. Because elephants don't forget anything, do they?
Well, to be honest with you, I stopped listening. I listened to that first sentence, and I thought, I got to remember that. I'm not that good. No, I was listening. No, yeah. I
forgot that. But
why? I was intrigued because it was like, there's obviously so much build-up to this year. Yeah, the anticipation of you going across to Honda. You literally won the championship with, arguably the most successful team. Well, the most successful team. Yeah. And then you changed camps. So obviously there's more to the story.
Yeah, there is. And sometimes it's not always a positive to bring up the past, but the listeners in the benefit of this podcast, let's say, is to be transparent, which is the correct word. Transparent's just being honest.
It's exactly that.
But for me, basically, black and white was the tension at the end of 23. Obviously, got with me and Glenn got quite heated. Obviously, after Paul had passed away, there was a lack of leadership within the team for PBM for me. And it kind of, in my opinion, and this is all my opinion, this is all my view, but other people have different views. There was a bit of a free-for-all scenario going on. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that environment. I like structure. I like the way things should be: a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, this time and that time, and as it should be. The structure should be. But for me, it got to a point with me and Glenn that it was obvious that we wouldn't be able to work together for another season. I think we both knew that. He is a very strong character, so am I, and sometimes them two characters clash heads, and we did. I think everyone knew it was always going to happen, in truth. I was sort of under the assumption that basically, in truth, black and white, basically who was the highest finishing rider was the one that was going to be the one they wanted to keep. So I looked at it as, I'm British Superbike champion. There's no reason why I wouldn't be the one to stay with PBM. But I will slightly contradict myself. That's what happened. But wind the clock back, and I had already signed for Honda. But no one knew that. So PBM didn't know that, because in truth, I wanted to see what they would actually do. I wanted to see if they would go, yeah, this is what we said, Tom. You've got the ride. I know, right or wrong, and some viewers might say, "Oh, I don't agree with that," but that's what happened. I had signed for Honda. I had a car conversation, like a car carrier. Had a car conversation with Harvey at Donington. I approached Honda and basically said to him, "Look, where are you at for 24? I want to ride for you." And Harvey was like, "Hey." He said, "Well, we've actually got our 2 riders with Andrew Irwin and Dean Harrison." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I said, "If you've got the resources in the could you put another bike together?" And he went, "Well, what for you?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, yeah." He said, "If you're telling me that you want to ride for Honda, and if we get things in place, you'll ride for us, then we will move heaven and earth." And I said, "Fine, get it sorted." And it's pretty much, it sounds the easy version, because anything with Honda is then a lot of paperwork, a lot of fine details. But once all that was ironed out, my mind, I had verbally agreed to ride for Honda at Donington, which is actually on the Thursday. And since then, obviously going back now, obviously then there was a bit of carnage at Donington, and yeah, it all went off like that. So the reason I decided to join Honda is
you knew that question was coming. I'm sorry, like, I know what I'm going to ask next.
Is because there was slight uncertainties with PBM, because obviously of Paul's passing, sadly. So because of them uncertainties, I needed, in truth, to look at my future. With Honda, there was always that guarantee of the team's always going to be there. Honda is always going to have a team there. With PBM, there was the question marks: is the team going to be running next year? Are they not? What support? What funding? But also a big factor for me was my crew chief and one of my main mechanics were also leaving the team. Because of that, it was a no-brainer for me. No-brainer. I didn't want to stay if they weren't going to be with me. Paolo, my crew chief, he's gone on to do World Supersport, and Carmine is obviously now with VDS with Sam Lowe's. So once them 2 guys told me that they're going to move on, for me, that was that.
What were your thoughts kind of after Donington, once you'd made that decision for Honda and the carnage that had happened? What was your headspace like then between Donington and Brands?
No different, because I start just for one goal, and that's to become British champion. Whether I'm riding for Ducati, Honda, Yamaha, Suzuka, whoever, best team, worst team, whatever, no matter what, whenever I line up on the grid, all I want to do is win. And that's because for me, that is what we're here to do, obviously, but it's what I train for, it's what I work for, it's what I dedicate my whole life for. So whether there's tension in the team, I was very fortunate that my team, in my opinion, was the stronger side, that we were perhaps the ones that would come across the setup a lot faster, and we just worked very close and very well in a quiet environment. In truth, we didn't need to show our emotion in any way. If I was having a bit of a tough time, Paolo was great for me, because he would always remind me that my competition want to see me shouting and screaming, because it shows me on the ropes. And I learned so much with Paolo last year, because he could see sometimes I get a bit pissed off, but I wouldn't show any emotion. He could see it in my eyes, and he would sit there and he'd say, "Right, just take a minute, and then, we'll address it." And it works for me. It helped me so much. Just because my emotion is just flatline, absolutely flatline. That's why with Honda now, they probably expected me to be shouting and screaming. I've had a gear quick shifter snap, which shouldn't have happened. Most riders would lose their head from it, which is stupid. Whereas I come in now and I can see that it's a component failure, so no one's to blame. And just, yeah.
Mature,
Well done.
mature Tommy Bridewell.
Mature Tommy Bridewell. Exactly. Less swearing. I still swear as much, to be honest. I do swear quite a lot, actually, but I don't need to stop swearing. As long as I don't swear live on TV, then I seem to be all right.
I can vouch for a swearer. I think it shows that you're an honest person.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of honesty, I mean, you are a very honest person. You often do come out in the media and say what you think, and
good or bad.
You know, good or bad.
Yeah.
Do you think? Well, let's just ask the question. You said that you agreed at Honda, you know, on the Thursday leading up to Donington Park. So you almost got ahead of like maybe what you thought was an inevitable like splitting of the partnership with you and PBM. Let's just say hypothetically that's the way you thought. So you got ahead of that, and in your gut you wanted to do that anyway. Why do you think? Well, what's the question? So why do you think they would have maybe leaned towards Glenn? If you read in between the lines.
Yeah. True. And that's the feeling I had. I don't know. Honestly, maybe it's because, to be fair with Glenn, he's rode for the team before. I was the newbie, you know, I was the fresh new face. Glenn had obviously rode from, was it 18, I think, maybe something like that. He was obviously Shakey's teammate. He had done 2 or 3 years, maybe 2 years with the V twin. So yeah, they were, you know, probably a better fit in some degree, but whether I'm reading into it more than needs be, I think for me, it just wouldn't have worked. It genuinely wouldn't have worked. I know the way I am. I know the way I take. I was a naughty boy at school because I didn't like being told what to do. But if someone asked me what to do or asked me to do something, totally different person. And I just, because of that leadership for me was important. And I think the leadership that Honda have is very different. It's very corporate. It's very correct. They will never, ever, ever say to you, oh, we're going to do this and do that, and we've got this and we've got that, if they're not sure. It will be facts 100%. We've got this and that. Tom, by the way, we've got this and that. I'm quite pushy with them, saying, look, what's going on? And they're so, well, just wait. Not telling you anything. But yeah, for me, I also wanted that manufacturer change, to be honest. I get on so well with Ducati. I can message Paolo, I can message all the guys in Ducati, I can see all of them as a friend, and certainly the ship with Ducati is, as far as my friendship with them are involved, certainly is not, you know, not sold, shall we say. It's something that, you know, I might end up back with Ducati in a different environment in the future. I don't know, but for me, I had done 5 years with them, and I'm a big fond believer that a fresh challenge is good as anything to keep a rider motivated. Look at Top Rack, you know, just prime example, isn't it? You know, the Yamaha looks like the most technically it looked the most rider-friendly bike on the grid, but he's jumped on the BMW that was completely unproven and loves it, you know. So does everyone want to ride a BMW now because Top Rack's winning on them? I don't know, but it's probably just the motivation that £1.2 million brings his wage.
But suitcases of money tend to be a big motivation.
Yeah, basically what you're trying to get at is to Honda pay me a suitcase of money.
No, I'm about Top Rack.
Yeah. But I think, and to counter that a little bit, not like obviously the limited time that I've spent with you or got to know you, I think obviously we know that you're a completely honest guy, which I like. That's what I like. I think most people would sit down and want to sit with you and have a beer over, say, somebody that's a bit more prim and proper, because they know that what they're going to get with you is 100% authentic. Yeah. But in the same token, I think you're maybe potentially on the ropes type of guy. When you're on the ropes and you're getting slapped left, right, that's when you come alive. Yeah, probably a little bit like almost, you know, when we're saying about being a bit of an underdog, it's almost a bit like proving people wrong.
Well, exactly, and it's slightly like that with Honda in some degree. It's but what I love is it's not me it's me proving people wrong, but I'm doing it for the manufacturer as well, which is cool. Where if people had doubted me as a rider, that's fine. Everyone had writ off Honda is a manufacturer. Oh, Honda's no good.
Bit of weight behind that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's amazing for me to be able to
feel like King Dick.
Wow, exactly. Yeah,
in the manufacturer. Yeah, such a big one as well.
When you're getting invited out to a World Superbike test because you're the only one. So for a guy who's spent his career, apart from with Supersonic, when you did a bit of time in the world, we're in Italy.
Yes, yeah.
And we came sort of backwards and forwards a little bit. You've now got Tommy Bridewell from Devisors. He's firmly in the Honda bosom.
Yes.
What's it like for you personally to be like
sucking on the tit?
Yeah, basically. No, sucking on the that we definitely won't get.
That'll be cut.
Yeah.
What's it from your own personal point of view? Sort of standing there in pit lane, going like, "Fuck."
Yeah. It just what's the right phrasing for it? The resources is endless is probably the right way to kind of look at it. There's no, I won't quote it exactly, but I can remember saying to one of the Japanese, we was talking about budgets or whatever it was and so on. And it was funny because with his hands, he made this gesture and he went, Tommy, no problem. The Honda budget. With his hands basically were like, I kind of read between the lines like, well, what it costs, it costs.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, basically.
It's exactly that.
Yeah, and I think that's probably where now I push Honda UK.
Yeah.
Because I know the team have got a ridiculous schedule, but with the roads, obviously, that's been. But I'm flat out on at Harvey saying, right, where are we at? Engine spec. I want an update of engine spec. All these sort of things, because I know that they're able to get it done. They just got to. Sometimes they don't need to. This is what Harvey grumbles at me over. You got to learn to trust us, Tommy says to me, and I'm like, I do trust you, but sometimes I like to just put on a bit of pressure as well. So the friendship is strong, really strong, and I think that's a real positive for me.
It's full factory now, isn't he?
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see how it's come together. It's like, I think a lot of people wrote it off before it even started.
A lot of people wrote Honda off.
Yeah, and do you know, in all honesty, like, you know, obviously I'm a Ducati rider, but it's brilliant to see Honda. Like, I genuinely, as a motorcycle fan, and I think anyone can say that, we want Honda. Like, you watch MotoGP and it's painful.
Oh, sad.
And you just,
very sad.
Man, why can't
last 4 places?
I just wish Honda were back at the front and like battling for race wins, and it's super refreshing to see it, you know, in BSB. And I think the team's brilliant. Like, you know, since I've been over here, I've always looked at the team and thought, you know, wow, like one day I'll ride for that team. Yeah. It's one of those types of those teams.
To be honest, Ben, I'm in no different position, same as you. Whether I'm rode for Ducati or whoever, there is only one factory team in this British Superbike paddock, and that is Honda. Right, whether the bike or the team is at the level, it is a factory team, and as a rider, you always should aspire to ride for a factory team. So I was exactly the same as you. You know, right or wrong, there might be at the minute, arguably, the Ducati seems that it's still perhaps a strong package as well as the Yamaha. But I've now seen what Honda are capable of doing with this new bike, and I have a smile on my face because I think we've started the season so much stronger than we should have. And in my opinion, that's a massive negative for my competitors because...
So there's room to grow.
Like, you can't imagine. You know, this is a bike that is doing so well with having his wings clipped massively.
Do you think you can win it this year?
100%, yeah, 100%. Because I didn't expect to only be 22 points off 3 rounds in. I shouldn't be only 22 points off. If the shoe was on the other foot, I'd have bolted. I'd have gone. Well, it was the, like, you know, make hay while the sun shines, almost. That's the way I'd have approached this season. Just add the points up as fast as I can, because with the right rider in Honda's structure, they will come. And I think
so. The next few years looks proper strong for Honda. Would you say?
100%. Yeah, 100%. The new Fireblade is a big step compared to the old one. I've seen some stuff coming from Donington to here. What I've got here, which is a bit like, bloody hell, how did you manage to get that? So
you're on the bloody phone to him every day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
in the old days, that didn't normally come till after Suzuka, did it?
No.
In Shakey's day, you usually get a massive upgrade.
It seems like it's changed a bit, hasn't it?
Suzuka, when you could put the big full factory 8-sugar Superbike out at Suzuka with all the kit on it, and all of a sudden, come Cadwell, it would filter down
in
the UK, and all of a sudden it'd be different swing arms, it'd be different things.
I think they've realised though that the Japanese riding style, with the way they want to set up a motorbike, the way they develop a motorbike, isn't working in Europe. And I think that fundamentally is the biggest point of this whole, almost the whole conversation, is what are Honda doing or have done differently? And I believe it's perhaps looking outside of that Japanese style.
For the smaller and lighter riders.
So there's no development happening outside of Japan as such.
It doesn't seem to be. No, not as much as.
So no test team, no test riders.
Exactly that. And I believe that's where Honda will hopefully make another big step. That you see it with BMW with getting Sylvain in Bradley Smith. It can only be a positive, can't be a negative, can it, in some sense? So is that what Honda are now going to be considering? Do they need to get more of a European style of a rider?
Do you think they need that? Do you think that would be a good unlock lock unlocked?
Not going to be a negative, is
Not going to be a negative. I think ultimately as Honda, you need to get a test bike with Pirelli tyres, not a test bike with Bridgestone tyres, because honestly, Bridgestone tyres are so good, they can make miracles happen. They're that unbelievable. Pirelli is you get so much different understanding of the bike. So I think that's certainly what will be Honda's next big step.
You raced Bridgestones at Suzuka?
Yes. I got my elbow down in the wet. Honest to God, they are that good. I can always remember here at Knockhill when I think I was Michelin's, was it not, with Keo when they were HM Plan?
Yeah.
And they were doing like 49s in the wet.
Well, that video of Keo at Donington on the handspree.
So that was Pirelli though.
Oh, was it on the
That
Pirellis?
was Pirelli, yeah. That's why he was so loose.
That's why he was sideways.
That's why he was doing what he was doing. Yeah, fair play.
No, with Michelin or with Michelin back then, with Bridgestone now, I find it hard to understand how they're that good. I was behind Takashi, which is the factory HRC test rider in Japan, in the wet, and there's a corner called Dunlop in Suzuka, and he was on obviously the factory bike, factory Bridgestones, and he come past me, and I'm not bad in the wet, and I was on a Suzuki. It was a satellite bike, still a good bike, but I was on decent tyres. He rode away from me like I was stopped, and I couldn't believe it. I kept him within reach so I could see him for the next lap, and thought to myself, right, just hang on to him. Fuck me, gentle. I come down with snow on my ass. I never had such a big high side in the wet, because they're that good. I had such a big high side. It was like high siding in the dry. Normally, if you high side in the wet, it spins out on you. Where this thing spun, gripped, and launched me so high. It was only a test, and I can remember thinking, fucking that's not ideal. Split me finger open, semi-concussed, sort of just knocked the wind out of me. But yeah, it's that's hence why Honda probably would benefit more from running Pirellis in Europe.
Yeah, because it's what you use. There's no point changing the variables if you don't have to.
Exactly that.
Tell me about Donington, especially race 3.
Race 3, yeah. Full send mode.
I was talking to Jason about it earlier, and Jason was like, first few laps, it was a little bit tentative. You were all on the same sort of pace. Yeah. And then the last third of the race, it's like, right, boys, let's go and play. Yeah. And Jason was so quick through the bottom of Craner and into the old hairpin. And then you'd throw it across his nose, and he said, look, he could just see you out the corner.
Yeah, Have you seen the onboard?
The onboards are incredible.
I think I was rubbing the camera on his bike. Yeah. It was good. It was good. What I liked from it is that I think you can visibly see that every rider wanted to win. Every rider would fight as hard as they could, but ultimately every rider respected each other. And I think that's a good what's the word? A good showing for British Superbikes. We haven't got the privilege, sadly, of certain tracks that others do. So we all have to respect each other because there is a very, very minimal margin for error. Donington's probably one that you've got a bit more comfort.
Bit of runoff, haven't you?
I watched the race back, and the thing that I take from it is I made passes that stuck that I perhaps wouldn't have thought would have stuck. Jason was lunging it, Glenn fucking out, making him sit up quite close to the wire, but it was still fair. I would then get back to the front. I just knew I needed to stay at the front as long as I can. Because then I, have a good shot at winning the race. And when I got to the front, I think it was 2 laps to go. Glenn passed Jason, ran slightly wide into turn 1, and then Jason comes straight back at him. Because of that, Jason, I think, realised, fuck, I need to get to the front. Otherwise, I'm in the firing zone here. But because that Kawasaki and Jason was riding so well down through Craner, he obviously done me into the old hairpin. And annoyingly, I'd done the old cutback, and I had the pass back on him. I could have 100%, but as I come from the right, as I was hanging on the handlebars to turn the bike, the bike slightly wheelied, and because it slightly wheelied, I couldn't turn the bike quick enough, so I had to almost roll the throttle and get the front back down to then turn the bike. Hence why I was slightly wide, and it allowed Jason back under me. But ultimately, I can't be disappointed because what I take from it is the fact that you had 4 guys wanting to win, racing as hard as they could. I appreciate that Jason come back under me on that corner. He could very easily have ran me right out of curb, but didn't, which is kind of him. So thank you, Jace. And the bastard, fucking bastard, he just got that little gap. And I was then the one in the firing zone. And because he got that little gap and I was then I was being attacked, it just timed right for him. Yeah. I shouldn't say it, but honestly, I think you can't really say it, but I think if I took them other 2 out of it, I felt I would have won the race. Honestly,
you're stronger over the last second, 2/3 of the lap.
I think if Jason even passed me into the old hairpin and it was just a two-horse fight, I believe I could have won the race because, like you say, I was so much stronger out of coppice, down into foggies, and that last corner, that would have worked for me. But because of that, I'm then the one getting attacked by Glenn back into the turn 1. So then I'm then like, fuck, I then got to brake harder than I would like and then square the corner off to get back past him. And with all that happening, Jason just got that second gap that gave him the safety. He then could ride free. But what a fun race.
And then Danny sat at the back waiting to pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Danny up there as well, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a race that the championship needed because it hadn't really, the racing had been all right. For the start of the year, but that's the one that suddenly went, that's why we do what we do.
British Superbikes, yeah. And do you know what? I think I learned from it that sometimes playing this follow the leader is not the correct. We all want, it's like, I look at our sport as a little bit like chess, where it's like you put your best hand, or is it but poker or whatever it is, put your best hand forwards, let's see what they've got. No one wants to let each other follow through practice, through qualifying. You don't want to show your competitors.
Who's going to blink first?
Exactly that. So in the race, it's like, right, I'm away in second, I'm the third, or wherever I may be. Let's see what they've got. It's sort of what happened in that race, but then it was like almost got to a point where it's like, right, sod it. I'm just going to show what I've got and just see what happens back. And that's, I've learned a lot from it because it's allowed me to kind of think, well, fuck, I'm just going to go on full send mode from lap 1 to lap 30 every race as far as I can, really, and see what happens. Hopefully it don't go too far wrong. But I think we all need it. I think the series needs it, in truth. I think me and Glenn had a lot of battles at the end of last year, and dare I say it kind of made the series, it made the show. And Donington was what the series needs. I think watching the races back, it was I was leading. I think Glenn was second. So it was Honda, Ducati, Kawasaki, Yamaha, and BMW. 5 manufacturers all in them top 5 places is a good showing for the series. The rules, the riders. You've got Leon Azamu was in 5th. He says he's 31, 32, but he's actually 41, 42. But it's good. It's what makes the racing fun.
Yeah, it's interesting about the pace. Actually, there's something in my race having World Championship guys come over.
Yeah.
Chan, the difference, but I'd often get out into the front of the race. I'd look at my lap time and be like half a second off my qualifying lap, and know what I can do. And you'd settle into the race, and you'd monitor, you'd see what the gap is, what the group is, who's coming with you, and then you'd try and up the pace a little bit. Those boys are just limit from lap 1.
Yeah.
And that was a huge, almost like a culture shock, because being competitive with proper doers in World Championship, they're straight down the qualifying pace every lap.
Yeah.
And it just changed the dynamic a little bit. So it strung out. It was 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second gaps. So from the outside, it was a bit like the Mugello MotoGP race, a bit boring to watch. You kind of something happened,
Yeah. But you needed, let's say, one of your competitors to make a mistake almost.
That's all it was. I needed something to,
because you were on the limit,
there.
But so were they.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. I quite often will always race on what I qualify on, if not slightly faster in the race, and I'll try and maintain it. My racing is I know I've said it before, my racing is slightly like my training, that if I go on a running machine and I do a 5 or 10K or whatever it may be, I don't really ever build in bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. I'll kind of go fucking full send, maximum. And that's what I'll do sometimes, a lot of the time, I end up doing my races at. And I think that's why some people struggle in British Superbikes, because it is so intense. My heart rate will spike and then just flatline it, let's say 180. The whole fucking race, and then it's only after the checker flag where I recover. So
I think that's naturally the competitiveness.
Yes,
I'm in a situation where I can chill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you guys can't.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And you chuck a couple of world guys in there, and you can't chill.
No, that luxury's been taken away from you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that was almost
makes you a better rider.
Oh, shit,
Which is what you can do in the level
mega.
You have to.
It's mega. For me, that was a massive. I went away with it a little bit. Got a bit lost with my setup, trying a bit too hard, and went away from my riding. But I was there a second off, and I thought it taught me so much to remember what we're doing here. We're not, you can race the guys, and ultimately that's what you do, just racing the guys that are put forward to you. But also, there's levels to the game. Like what you said, what's my plan of attack now? Full send mode. Because that might mean you ride away.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So that keeps you focused 100% as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Zero Fit, the king of base layers, are worn by Bennetts British Superbike riders Glenn Irwin, Andrew Irwin and Lee Jackson. And as proud sponsors of this show, Zero Fit are offering you a free thermal beanie with every base layer purchased. It's really simple. All you have to do is scan this QR code and enter OT24 when you check out. Thank you, and back to the show.
Win with a 10-second gap. There's that fucking stupid saying, which some people think, oh, it's not stupid, but win with as little effort or as
slow as you can.
So
the slowest pace
that
possible.
you can.
I think the reason I remember it now is because I feel like I heard it in the TT of recent of Hickman, was it? And I think, perhaps on the road slightly different, but I get it, but at least give yourself a bit of a comfort. I.e., I'm in your position now. I'm at Knockhill, and I'm thinking, fuck, them guys are fast in worlds. It's made you realise that you want up your game.
Yeah.
You want to ride faster. You want to be that dominant force. I'm going out, and I'm fucking everyone in FP1. That's what my mind is telling me, sort of scenario. I'm going to give them a lap time where they just sit up beaten already.
Yeah.
And they're fucked. Absolutely fucked, and that's that's also the mental side of it. You know, it's the mental side of where Chan's come in and gone, oh, that's all right, I can do this lap time every lap, and you've gone, fuck.
Yeah.
So you've either got smoked with your tail between your legs, or you've had to respond, and you've responded and made you now realise, fuck, actually, I can do that. So now I'm going to go and do it. I'm going out and knock hill and I'm doing that. And then when the race starts, I'm going to just go as hard as I can. If I've got +0 on my board, fuck, I'm in for a battle. As long as I am riding that motorbike to the limit every lap, you know, and as a rider, it makes you feel so much better. I had that at Alton Park this year. I said to the team, there is nothing left in that motorbike. That is the limit. I finished, it was a long distance race. I can't remember what it was. The first long distance race, I did the race in, let's say, 28 minutes, 30 seconds. Then I come in, I said to the team, I am over the limit every single lap, qualifying and some every lap. And I felt good because of it, because I knew there was nothing left in that bike. And then the last long distance race, my race overall time was all but identical. And I was actually happy with it, because it also reassured me that my first time I was on the limit, and that time I was on the limit. That is what the bike could do. I made the most of it, you know. The shorter distance I finished second, because the races are slightly different. It is such, you've got a bit more tyre, you can use it differently. So yeah, it's interesting.
It is cool where like dissecting that side of things, like speaking with riders and understanding it, because I learn a lot of lessons during the week with the people that I surround myself with and train with, and this is, believe it or not, this is where the level changes when you go to MotoGP and World Championship. Dissecting, you know, from the start to the first corner, and then like little bits of time that you can not get back.
Onto not more important. No, yeah, onto more important things.
Oof.
How's the farm?
Farming life. Fucking hell, busy. Oh, hard work. It's all right. I love the completely different lifestyle I have, from racing a motorbike, high intensity, high pressures, corporate, all the usual, to then going back. We went away on holiday when the TT was on, and then I'm straight back. Next day is strimming and grass cutting. I got a Honda robot mower, actually. Do you know, fucking Megan, this isn't a plug, but such an amazing thing. So this it's a girl. Fuck knows how my mower has now turned into a girl. It's called Mimo, which is a Honda Mimo, but it's Mimi. So it's called Mimi according to Stace. But this little mower just goes around all day, every single day, cutting the grass, and the garden has never looked so good. So that's one less job. But the sheep are being sheared, the horse is flattening the electric fencing every fucking 5 minutes. Just been out in the tractor, fertilizer field. That grass is phenomenal now.
Looking good.
Oh, very vibrant and green. So that's good. Cut the headlands, bits and pieces, got a load of wood I need to chop up, still building another barn, planning to when's this going out?
Not another planning thing.
Week on Wednesday.
So hopefully it'll be out then. But
how's the relationship with the plan?
Well, fucking planners are, you know what they're like. But it's been hectic. Yeah, putting planning for another barn. I'm still building one of the current barns, which is been an ongoing project, but just love it. I love the lifestyle I have out of racing, of the complete different of what my job is, I guess. And I think it helps, to be fair. I think we all train hard, we all race hard, but I think there's such a big element of that recovery. It doesn't always have to be a physical recovery. It can be a mental recovery, and that for me is my mental recovery of just, I was doing fucking hell. I had to move a load of soil the other day. Not much breaks me. And I went down the bottom of the field, JCB, filled me trailer up, got it all loaded, come back up, and it's a bit of a shoveling wheelbarrow job. And I'm like, do you know what? Fuck this. I did about 6 or 7 wheelbarrow falls, and mentally it broke me. It was too hard because I was still worn out from, what was I worn out from? Worn out from holiday.
Which happens.
It does, doesn't it? It was like the holiday blues. I was worn out. We went away for a week, and I come back feeling fuck. Honestly, I was like, but my fault. I ended up training so much on holiday, but in the end, I just fucking tipped the whole load of soil in one pile, and it's still there now. So it's just every day at mine, really.
This weekend, we're obviously at Knockhill. We're filming this at Knockhill.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the timeline's like, but they'll have seen the results when they listen to this.
Triple win, mate.
Yeah.
So then, suckers.
Do it the other way. It's 2 long races and a sprint race.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well,
I'll get me count.
Obviously, you're charged up. Are we like kicking on now? We've got new bits. We've got.
Do you know this is probably the last question mark of a circuit? In truth, I think no matter what happens this weekend, it will take the positives. I approach every weekend. I expect to win all 3 races. I want to fight for the podiums. Do I believe genuinely we can do that? Obviously, yes, I do, because we've done it already. The reason I believe it is because the way this circuit is you need a good chassis, but also a good bike on the brakes. I've got that. The only reason I say slightly question mark is, have I got the bottom end punch of the engine to get me out of the slow corners? Because there's really 2 main passing places here, into the last corner and into turn 1. And to be honest, if I've got the braking into the last corner, as long as I can get a lot out of the long left-hander, and then I've got the braking into turn 1, as long as I can get out of the hairpin. So the question mark is just solely, is the new parts that we've got this weekend, is that going to give me that step to punch out the corners? If it gives me the punch out the corners, then we are in a very good, strong position.
Yeah. One thing that I wanted, because this is the first time we've had a chance to sit on record since you became British champion.
Thank you.
Congratulations again.
Thank you again.
What's changed in you since you stood up on that podium?
I got the full set now. I literally got. Okay, I think I can remember going into Brands. Weirdly, I've got, obviously in our living room, I've got finished 3rd in the championship twice, or however many times. I finished 2nd in the championship to Taz in 21, I think it was. And the poor little buggers were so lonely, they were missing their bigger brother. And I think I can remember saying to them, don't, like before Brands, don't worry, I'll bring your bigger brother back this weekend. So immense, what's the word? Immense sense of achievement. I've said on record that I was a little bit unsure, because I've been so focused on becoming British Superbike champion that I've not aspired to go on to World Superbikes, because for me, I needed to do one job first, and that one job was to become British champion. Now I've done that, I want to go World Superbikes. And it's not because I want to go and try and win World Superbike Championship. It's because I feel I've got the job done I needed to do here. And if it took me 5 years, 10 years, another 8 years, whatever it may have took, I wouldn't have left until that. That's why I've not looked at going to Moto America or fucking wherever. It's why I've not gone and done Moto E, which I could perhaps looked at. You know, it's because all I wanted to do is become British champion. So for me to do that is a lot different meaning to probably what a lot of it would to a lot of other riders, because obviously for me, for Ollie, just for that, in life, we all want to do some amazing things. We all think, right, do you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to go and learn how to do this and learn how to do that. But sadly, as you get a bit older, it becomes a bit harder. And you end up kind of let's say, sadly, a bit of a, I don't mean it in a negative way, a bit of a 9 to 5, and you kind of eat, sleep, drink, day in, day out. And I just wanted to tick off that British Championship. What was cool for me is response I had, the response from winning the championship. So many of my friends were there that don't necessarily come to watch me race. They don't necessarily come to the racing, but we're talking, childhood friends, current, well, all of them are friends, but people that knew what it meant to me, that also I could look down and see they had a tear in their eye. So if they've got a tear in their eye, then for me, it's like, fuck, just what a massive job done, So it was amazing. And I think I was saying then, like, I was just a little bit unsure. Was that tick job done? Is that the best of me? Is that the best of Tommy Bridewell as far as racing goes? And there was a question mark for me. Is have I achieved what I wanted to? Do I retire? Do I fucking pick up the pay packet now and just lag it as long as I can? I don't know. But the fire in my belly is as strong as it ever has been, and I think that's why joining Honda has been such a refreshing thing for me, because there's that motivation, but also there's that future, which is cool, really cool. And I think them two things combined, the future for me is bright with Honda. But also to get that future, I need to perform. Yeah. So that also puts the pressure on me now to also still be at the very top of my game. And I think that's why I'm able to still ride it the level I am, really. And I never want to start a race without, being competitive to try and fight for wins. There's no excuse. There's a motorbike's a motorbike. Cut all the fucking bullshit like a lot of the riders, bike this, bike that. Fucking shut up. Just go on with it, There's just shouldn't be any excuse. I make some excuses up now if I struggle.
There's one last question before I throw over to you. What's the bigger achievement? October last year or back-to-back in it in October this year?
What a question. It's a tough question. Very tough question.
It has to be the first one because there's 10 years, many more years than that.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I think yes, 100%. You get the first one and it's like, mega. But probably it's very close. And that's the reason I say it is because I've joined Honda. If I stayed with Ducati and I went back to back, it wouldn't have had as much meaning. Yeah. But because I've done it with Ducati and I've worked so hard for it, now I've joined Honda, and to go back to back different manufacturers for a manufacturer that's been written off, for people saying I wasn't and not going to be able to do it, to go and do it would have a very strong feeling. And also I would love to do it for Honda, just because I see what they put into it. I see their passion and they deserve it. They do deserve it. So I will do my utmost to give them that.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
2013.
Hey?
2013. Are you going to ask when they won it last or not?
No, Alex in 2013.
They are. Look.
But what I was going to say was, I don't think, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but anybody is back-to-back British Superbike champion on different manufacturers.
No, I don't. I think I have heard that before. So you're not on your own.
I don't think Shaky managed it, Kawasaki to Ducati. I think Alex might have been in the middle of that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you're correct in saying that. I'd be fairly positive in saying. So there's that extra element of
making history.
Making history. Yeah. I've changed quite a bit as well in my racing this year.
Oh, he's fucking taking my next question.
Oh, go on. No, let ask the question. Go on.
Go on. Done it to me twice.
I was going to say, as my simple question was going to be, has there been a psychological change in Tommy Bridewell this year? And then my observation was seeing you around the paddock, chatting to you. You seem a little bit like a different guy. I know we had a night after we won the championships. We went and did a Ducati thing. Yeah. We spent some time and we spoke to each other and stuff. And obviously meeting you briefly before that, I felt like there was something changed in not your personality, because you're always the same, but you know what I mean? Like, it seems to be something different. There's something different.
There's definitely a difference.
It's like you've ticked a box, you feel reassured and you're slightly confident.
Do you know what I've gone to? Because I'm not that secretive, to be honest. But I was so focused on winning the championship that consumed my whole life, and it still does. But I can remember saying to my wife after, thinking, "Fuck, I've never read a book in my life because I'm dyslexic. I struggled in school, and I find stuff quite difficult like that." But it excited me, the thought of, okay, no, I've won the British Superbike Championship. I can win. I can read a book, you know. And that's kind of getting on to what I was going to say in slightly what you were saying about what's changed. I've started reading a book. Fuck, it's difficult. I must be honest. Literally do about 3 pages and my eyes get heavy. Well, I suppose where I'm dyslexic, my eyes get heavy and I just nearly fucking fall asleep all the time. And I'm like squinting and I've gone from line 1 to about line 10 and I think, that doesn't make fucking sense. Start again.
Yeah, that's me, that.
But weirdly, when I sit on an aeroplane and I read a book, I can consume it a lot better. In everything, I'm able to say words in a pronounced words I never could before. I don't know why, but basically I've been reading this book called The Secret. You heard of it?
No.
Yeah. Did you read books?
No, I don't actually. It's funny you should say that though. It's like I've been listening to some things and picked how good it is for you to read books, but I'm like, I can't stay focused long enough and I jumble the words and I start forgetting what I read.
Exactly. So you always think, let's get an audio book.
That's what I do every time. I cheat.
Yeah, but it's not the same. It doesn't. I feel like, it's not the same. But anyway, I saw Maverick Vinales was reading it. And basically the secret is, cut a long story short, because otherwise it'd be for hours, is about law of attraction. It's about if you're negative, if you're like, oh, fucking I'm here at Knock Hill and it's a short circuit and my bike's shit here and this is shit and that shit, all you do is attract shit. You're just going to have a shit weekend. So for me now, there's no negative. I'm reading Law of Attraction and it's sometimes I read it, honestly, I slightly contradict myself and I think, who the fuck read this, you absolute imbecile? It's like, what a load of bollocks. But I still put it into practice because there must be some truth behind it. And like I say, I've been reading this book, and like I say, it's the Law of Attraction, and everything I now look upon is positive, because I don't know, negativity.
Fucking hell, hasn't helped Vinales.
Well, I know, exactly.
Exactly. Else today, he's at Tech 3 for next season.
Yeah, factory.
No, sorry, the guy up there. Yeah,
but so maybe an element of that. I have a lot of self-confidence as well in my own ability, because I've always believed in myself.
It just looks a little bit more reassured confidence, where before, and correct me if you're wrong, what we've spoke about openly, potentially your forthcomingness. So is that a word for forthcomingness? Where you're confident, you say what you think. We saw it with the Glen Irwin thing. You said some things last year in the media, TV, all the things, all the actions that you did that sometimes shed a bad light on you.
Yeah.
This year looks a bit different. It looks a little bit more calculated. You do know when to refrain yourself a little bit. You know what jumper you're wearing.
Yeah.
You're walking taller.
But do you know what? Genuinely,
it just seems like it's changed.
This jumper doesn't make any difference to me. I don't feel like, oh, fucking my arms are tied. I can't see this. I can't see that. I'm genuinely just me being me, speaking as I do and always will be. Because ultimately,
but do you not
can't sack me, can they? How can they sack me?
But like, all jokes aside, like with all that side of things, do you regret sometimes? Do you look back at some of the things that you've said, or like the classic one on the video of you coming into pit lane, giving it the big ones up to the control? Do you sometimes go, tell me why did why'd you do that?
I kind of swore, because all it did is make me look a twat. No one else. Because, all right, I'm swearing up at Stuart Higgs saying, you twat, why do you or the race board or whatever, why did you do that? Because I still believe that was incorrect.
Of course, yeah.
Absolutely.
That doesn't define that, does it? Yeah.
But also, on TV, and what the fans and everyone saw was a stupid idiot swearing. So I get that. But the text messages that I had with Stuart Higgs after was, have you ever seen that little cartoon of Mr. Bean in the back of a car going like this, swearing with his two fingers? So I actually sent that the day after to Stuart Higgs.
Break the ice.
Yeah, just to break the ice. And he just come back like fucking laughing his head off, because there's no bad grade there. You know, he knows what goes through a rider's mind when you're in the heat of the
charge, don't you?
Exactly.
100%.
But yeah,
but he just seemed like that. Am I right in saying
I
that?
agree completely.
I don't think that happened now.
No, I get bollocking. Yeah. No, I chat to Harvey about it, and he openly says, yeah, you only made yourself look a twat, no one else, and I can't disagree. So yeah, maybe that is a change.
You rolled into turn one at Navarra and the bike absolutely detonated itself. But
yeah,
I think I'm right in saying that. I mean, it was on TV. I'm not stating anything that's
it was actually, it didn't actually do that.
But it doesn't matter what it did. It had a malfunction. Yeah. You missed out on the qualifying.
I knew that was coming. I was sat here waiting for
the electrical bar. You missed out on the qualifying lap, and then everyone was like, right, here it comes.
Quick, get the cameras.
Cameras on. Everyone's here. You walk into your garage, you put your helmet down, you take your earplugs, and everyone's like,
yeah.
Well, nothing happened.
No.
Everyone was expecting the helmet to go through the back wall. And I thought, he knows, he's been given the brief. He knows, he's rehearsed this time and time again. If something doesn't happen, I am to change. But that, you can see that when someone does that. It looks false.
False,
and it changes who you are. Yeah. You haven't changed, but something has changed.
It's no different to, probably more so when the quick shifter snapped. People are like, fucking hell. Like the positivity I got from patting the tank and not smash. I've never understood when riders punch the screens of a bike. Fucking hell, it's not the fairing's fault, is it? It's not the screen's fault. I don't get it. You're sat there if you smash the screen on the bike. I was going to say, he went quiet there. Yeah,
I got a good excuse there.
But the team gave me a bike that was capable of fighting and almost winning that race, perhaps, or at least being on the podium. So the quick shifter snapping, why should I beat the shit out of the bike? Because the bike's done nothing wrong. It was a stupid thing that
component failure. Sometimes it happens,
and I feel like that's where I've not helped. I'm putting the pressure on Honda, because I did say to him after, look, bike was mega. Never let that happen again. I don't care what the reasons are. Never let that happen again. Me as a rider who's just won the British Superbike Championship, I've got a lot of experience. I've seen the way other teams work, Motorapido, PBM. I see their positives, their negatives, and I'm trying to combine all of the positives and bring every positive to Honda. So I'm saying to Honda, this is what you need to implement for me to ride at the highest level. And we can't accept human error. We can't accept mechanical error or anything like that. You cannot have one DNF ideally, because it hurts you in the championship. So the argument's sake is, if I didn't have that quick shifter snap and I went on to finish second, let's say second, because Ryan Vickers was riding well in that race. So let's say second, he would have been hard to have beaten. There's 16 points. All of a sudden, I'm not 22 points behind. I'm, do the maths then, Dave. 22 to 16.
20 to 16, 6 points. 6 points different.
Quick maths. I'm 6 points behind, you know.
You're not great at reading. I'm shit at maths.
Oh, yeah.
We all have our strong points.
Yeah, exactly. So, so that's, you've got to look at the positives, haven't you? And that's certainly the positive for me. I had a bike that was capable of fighting for the podium. I was fighting for the podium. Unfortunately, we got a mechanical component failure.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm absolutely fascinated by this. Absolutely fascinated.
It's cool to.
No,
absolutely
pleasure.
Superb.
It's about time you get a couple of good guests on here, isn't
it? Mate, I refer you to Tom McGuinness.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's going quite well, actually.
I've highlighted a couple of questions, because one or two we did last year.
Yeah.
But some of the fun ones that the viewers and the listeners enjoyed last year is, so thank you Tommy. That was absolutely fascinating and a massive insight into how things are, especially for you personally. We know that the Honda story, we know Honda work a certain way, they have a certain way of doing things, and they are the factory team. But for how it's come as you as a person, as a rider, thank you, mate. I really appreciate it.
No, my pleasure. Like you say, for me, it's only a positive. It's the whole story has been amazing, you know, and I enjoy to share it, you know. Yes, there's certain things that you think, oh, I'd like to say this and say that and so on, but it's hard because, like I said earlier in the podcast, that Honda, until everything's 100%, nothing's 100%, I guess, or whatever the saying is. But there's certainly some more exciting things I think are 99% going to happen. But until I get that extra 1%, I can't really say too much.
No, that's fair enough. Should we finish off with the good questions?
Go for it.
Go on, mate. You take this, that one.
Which one? That one?
Yeah.
Most embarrassing moment of your life or what?
Yeah, what is your most embarrassing moment?
Fucking hell. That's a tough one, isn't it? Because I'm not someone that gets easily embarrassed.
I'll buy you a bit of time. We had this with Coops a couple of weeks ago. Coops listens to the show as he walks his dog.
Yeah.
And he's like nailing these questions every time.
Oh, they're always hard when you're on the spot, aren't they?
When you sat there, he was like,
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because, like you say, I'm not that easily embarrassed. Weirdly, when you said it, I sort of presumed it would be something about bollock naked, or I don't know why. Yeah, I'm not easily embarrassed. I would happily.
Where have you been bollock naked? That you
honestly, I just piss outside all the time. I don't know why. I'll get up of an evening and it's either let's say we're in steps, a 10-step walk to the downstairs bathroom, or a 12-step walk to the doors to go onto the patio, and then another 5 steps. Well, I'd fucking sooner do that.
That's me back home in Australia. Straight out the back veranda, there's 100 acres of fucking fields, and you see how good's this?
I know, exactly.
Nature.
But now I've got that brazen with it. I'm like, well, fuck it. If the neighbours are about, I ain't that bothered, really.
It's up to them for looking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, lucky sods.
What's the one thing you wish you'd enjoyed more?
I wish I enjoyed more. God, they're hard ones, Dave, because I also feel like I'm a more positive person.
Does that mean you can put yourself in the moment a little bit more to actually, like Cremona and actually being a part of it?
Part of it, exactly. Yeah, it's not really much. I think, oh fucking hell, I should have.
What about that season, like racing Glen and winning the championship?
I enjoyed every part of it.
You just loved it.
Yeah, just enjoyed all of it.
You never let it immerse you in.
No. I think there's elements of enjoying it too much is a negative. So you've
dropping
got to
the ball a bit.
Extra pressure. So that extra high pressure of not getting too giddy, too carried away. But I enjoy a lot. I'm a big believer of life's very short, and you see all these negative and really sad things now, and I'm like, fuck. You've got everything to be positive about. You got life. You've got all of it. Yeah, we're in a fortunate position of life. We don't live too bad in. But it's like that I see that thing with Tyson Fury and Mike Tyson doing a chat together, and it's just like he said, everything's only on loan, isn't it? The clothes on our back, the money in our bank, the fucking house we live in, it's only on loan. I look at stuff and I think, fucking hell, it's mad when you look at it like that, really, isn't it? It's I sort of enjoy as much as I can, to be fair.
Nothing wrong with that. That one.
Who do you admire from another sport?
Admire. You said Maya.
Admire.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I missed the A out then. Shorthand. Admire from another sport. Oh. Fuck, they are hard when you're sat on the spot, aren't they? Because I think...
Can't even think who I would choose.
I think of other sports I like, and they're quite slim, but would motocross be another sport?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's a completely different discipline, yeah.
I think you'd have to look at someone like Jeffrey Hurlins, because he's been proper through the run at like the mill, through injuries, but never ever gives anything else bar 100%. So you've got to admire that. There's so many sports personnels that you can admire, but that's
I get that. But their achievements.
Yeah,
what about the things that like
never given up?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'd say Jeffrey's a good one for sure.
Who's the most famous person in your phone?
I think you answered that last time.
I can't remember. Yeah. I can't remember.
Michael Dunlop now.
Oh,
yeah. And I'll text him. Like I've got a few people. I'm not that fucking in a circle, so like me or hate me, I'm not that bothered. But there's other people in my phone book on, let's say, more celebrity TV programs now with ITV and shit like that. But I look at someone like Michael. What I love about Michael is I can text him now, we can chat away. He'll ask me questions about the Honda, he'll ask me, I'm quite open and honest with him. Yeah. Maybe sometimes because I trust him, and I quite openly say to him, fuck's sake, what you doing here? Or da-da-da. Yeah, we can chat away. I like Michael, he's a good egg. And what he's achieved, I see the way his racing is for him is like me. I see that he looks up and he's got his uncle Joey, he's got his dad Robert, he's got his brother William. I was very fortunate to be teammates with his brother and spend a bit of time with his dad. And because of that, got to know Michael as well. I think rightly so, Michael is a very, very highly regarded sports personnel in his own right.
Talking of reading books, I've just started reading his.
Oh, fuck me, I didn't even realise he had a book.
Yeah.
Really?
Fabulous.
Is it?
Absolutely
there you go,
fabulous. But I do the same. I read in bed at night, so I get 3 pages in.
Yeah.
That'll help me go to sleep.
The Kindle's good for that, because
that.
if you don't know words, you can press on it and it gives you the explanation of what the word is.
Oh, that's cool. I've seen those. Are they those little?
Yeah, just a little
screens, and they flick the page and that.
You flick the page.
Is that what that is?
You can press on it.
I thought, why don't you just read a book? Why do you have to read it on that weird thing? So that actually gives you
100%. Yeah,
mate, that's amazing. Yeah. See, now we can learn.
Yeah, on a different level.
Teammates with William, Milwaukee.
No, Tycho. Wow. Tycho BMW, he was on their roadside.
Of course.
And it was same as, let's say, teammates with Guy that year as well. So, but just what an amazing lad. I can remember he was in the garage, head down, didn't want to make conversation with anyone, was so shy. And I just went out to him, I said, fuck me, you're going to talk or what? And then sort of giggled. And then because I broke the ice and started firing some fucks into him and this and that, it's, gone really well. Good egg, really.
I think it's a fascinating thing. And you're absolutely right with the parallels.
Yes.
With what you've both been through with you and Michael. And I think that how it spurs you on. And I've just got to the point in the book where Robert loses his life at the Northwest, and then Michael's approach to the 250 race after. Yeah. And that William didn't get to start it.
What was his approach to that race?
He was going to do it. I'm going to race.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
But was he?
I've got a bike for you.
Yeah.
If you want to ride it, it will be on the start line. It will be there. If you want to ride it, there it is.
Yeah.
And he's like, got a job to do.
just know, I get that, and just kind of, I know how I felt after losing Ollie, where I lost the value of life. So I didn't give a fuck. I was going out on a road bike. I didn't give a fuck if I was going to go through the hedge and hit a car or kill myself, sort of thing, because you lost that care. So I just wonder if Michael's, I don't ever bringing up the past. So I would never ask him, did you approach that race that you didn't give a fuck if you went through some wall, like a wall or something? Was it win it or worst case?
He went out to win it.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
It's pretty amazing to hear that, actually, what you said there, because it's like you can't actually fathom that.
No.
I personally.
No.
You can. I can't personally.
We'll never be in that situation.
But to live a period of life, whether it's 1 hour or 10 days or the rest of your life in that way is quite scary to think.
It's not a nice thing. It's not a nice thing to lose the value of life, to not, because basically what you're craving is to be back with them. Mm-hmm. So the only way to be back with them is to also be 6 feet under as such, in truth. Once you luckily get through that period, you then realise, fuck, right, okay.
How precious it is.
Exactly that. But also how, instead of trying to join them 6 feet under, I'm a big believer of having them around still in spirits and that. So let's make them proud. I know when I got on that motorbike, I always say to Ollie and my dogs, keep me safe. Let's fucking just get into it. Just keep me safe, and I'll do the rest. And I believe in that, to be fair. That's why every time I look up, on the podium, I only, thank everyone that's kept me strong, kept me competitive, kept me focused. In life, it's so easy to... I hate the thought. I was only saying to my wife the other day, if we was ever on a quiz show and they said, right, what's Tom's biggest fear? I said, say failure. Because for me, the biggest fear in life is failing. And that's with racing almost. What was it the other one I said to her? Even I can't remember. The other one I said to her, biggest fear was the sea. Don't like the sea. Fucking frightens me to death. What could be under me? Bullshit when everyone goes, oh, there's no fucking sharks in there. How do you know that?
I've seen them, mate. Where I come from, you don't get in the fucking sea.
Nah, you got snakes.
I hate the sea.
Shit me.
People want to move to Australia. There's 8 of the 10 most dangerous animals in the world on that same continent.
Yeah.
But it's not really appealing, is it?
No.
But where I live is...
You've got people and you all live on
kangaroos. Also, I never understood why people would want to punch a kangaroo. I see a video of like a kangaroo getting...
Yeah, it is true, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm like, mate, it's an animal.
Do you know what they do, though? They do fight you. So, there's a couple of things. Obviously, that one you're alluding to, that guy literally jabbing. But that kangaroo got his dog. He got his dog.
Well, shoot the kangaroo then. That's what I would do.
Well, yeah, he would. But he didn't so he ran over there because he panicked and he tackled the kangaroo, and the kangaroo stands up and they box. That's what they do.
I get it, but
so he's like,
this isn't hard. And
it just turned into the most viral video in the world. But that's why they do it. And then now people think they can box a kangaroo.
Yeah, it seems weird.
It reminds me of that the old John. We'll finish on this point because it just tickles me. The tuna advert, the salmon, where the bear takes the salmon out and then the bloke starts giving it this with the bear, and then the bear turns around and starts.
I don't think I've seen that. I'll have to have a look.
You're too busy training.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll have to YouTube it.
Seriously, Tommy, Ben,
it's been great.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
That's been absolutely stunning. Best of luck for this weekend at Knock Hill.
Thank you.
And the rest of the season. It's great to see you looking so well and on great form, mate. And,
thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's see what the season brings, and we'll maybe chat towards the end of the year.
That's the plan.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tommy Bridewell.